Well, it's the park protector that's paying, it's not me. So maybe I shouldn't be dealing with that.
Yeah, maybe not, ma'am. But
as a taxpayer, it worries me.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, as a taxpayer, it also
Chair.
worries me when it looks like there's a
Chair.
crime that is committed here. But do you know, maybe let's do it like, do you know that you may not correct an affidavit after it has been attested? Chairperson?
Sorry, what's that?
What do you mean, what's that? Don't speak like you are in a crawl.
No,
What do you mean,
you have
that?
not raised your hand,
We're in
Honorable
a
Malema.
meeting here. Don't say what's that.
You
What's
have
that?
not
What do
raised
you
your
mean?
hand, Honorable Malema.
I'm raising my hand. I'm raising
You have
my
not
hand.
raised it.
But
You
I'm
have
raising
not
my
raised your
hand
hand.
now. I'm raising it.
No, you don't raise it like that. You know how to raise a
How
hand.
do I raise it?
You know how you got in here. You use the same tools to raise a hand. Honorable
Yeah,
Malema.
but I don't know how
Asking
to
that
raise a hand here. I'm trying to get your attention.
Then if you can't,
And then you
raise
can't
a
start
hand,
by saying what's that. Instead of
Honorable Malema.
recognizing me properly, don't say what's that.
Malema.
Why do you say what's that? Don't
Honorable
talk to me
Malema.
like you are talking to a garden boy, when a man.
I am speaking to you now. If you can't raise a hand, you call a point of order, I give you attention. You don't just get into a conversation. It's
I'm
not
trying
how
to
it-
get your attention, Chair. I'm trying to get your attention.
I'm now recognizing you.
Please speak to the witness, not to interrupt Advocate Mpofu, because it doesn't come across as being dignified, and it's irritating to say the least. Let her give her a chance, because watching from here, when she just budges and interrupts the way she wants with the advocate, it doesn't look like the required decorum of these proceedings. Please.
Well, thank you, Honorable Malema. And that's not a point of order, but I hear what you're raising, which we attended to earlier before you joined, about the interactions and the each waiting for the other, but also speaking through the chair. I attended to that, and I'm going to be watching that space. Thank you. Over to you, Advocate Mpofu.
When you say each waiting for the other, you're suggesting that I interrupted her?
No, I'm not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Madam, Professor?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I was just asking you whether you know or you don't know that an affidavit cannot be changed after it has been attested.
I stand to be corrected, sir. My understanding is that you can correct it, provided it's a proper procedure. That's why the affidavit of the 28th was attested to by a commissioner of oaths.
Yes.
It wasn't just changes randomly on the street.
Well, but the second one, where you changed by putting hand changes, seems like it was just changed in the street, and it was changed after the public, or rather after the commissioner had signed it. Let me demonstrate that to you, ma'am. Can you put up the first affidavit? That's 31.6.2. Tsepo. Right, just go to paragraph 5. Right. 5, yeah. Okay, you see in paragraph 5 that it says the contents and intended appearance are in response to the letter of the chairperson of the committee, Honorable Q.R. Janji, MP, dated 1st February 2023. You see that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, that version was then signed by the Commissioner of Oaths on the 25th of February, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, after that, you then went to change that date to the 21st, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you know that that is illegal? You cannot do that. Once it has been signed by the Commissioner of Oaths, you can't then change the date on your own in the street, as you call it. Do you know
Can
that
I-
that's...
Can I explain that that's not what I did? Is it
All right.
okay if I explain, sir?
No, firstly, just answer my question, then you can explain. Do you know
Yes.
that?
Yes, I do.
It's not done. It's illegal.
Yes, I do.
Fine. Then you can explain.
Yes. I did not change the original affidavit by hand. I took a copy of it and I made the changes. You must look at the email that was sent on the 1st of March to everyone. The email explained properly that what we are doing is we're not replacing the affidavit of the 25th with the handwritten. We replaced it with the electronic version. And that electronic version was signed by a Commissioner of Oath. In my wisdom, which seemingly now seems to be turpitude instead of rectitude, I wanted to make it easier for the committee, because it was now short notice, to see what's the difference between the affidavit signed by a Commissioner of Oath on the 28th and the affidavit signed by a Commissioner of Oath on the 25th. So the handwritten version was just for ease of reference, and the email says so. I'm certain that the Secretariat can produce the email that was indicated.
Okay. Then maybe let me assist you. If you know that it's illegal to change an affidavit by hand after it has been attested to, then can you go to the second affidavit, Tsepo? 31.6.1. Right. So, okay, at paragraph 5, you did exactly what you say you know is illegal, which is to change the affidavit by hand after it has been attested to, and then you put your initials next to that paragraph, correct?
I have explained that this was to just show the committee where the changes are in the proper affidavit. I never proffered this as the new affidavit. I proffered the affidavit of the 28th as the new affidavit, which is the affidavit that has since been accepted by this committee.
Yeah, wrongly. That's what I'm getting to, but don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm simply saying here, just on what is on the screen now, is it correct that you did what you say you know is illegal, namely to change the 1st to the 21st, and then you put your initials next to that?
Well,
yes,
I didn't change. This was a copy of the affidavit for the purposes of
I'll take it.
Committee.
Yeah, all right. I'll take it. You don't want to answer the question. That's fine. And you did the same thing on page 2, Tsepo, where you again by hand change the affidavit and put your initials next to it illegally, correct?
I will admit that all of the changes that are now in this affidavit and in the one that is supposed to be the basis of the discussions today were changes that I made which are typographical in nature. If you want to make them illegal, say, so be it. But if I knew, this is where I say points in limine should have been discussed, because you are now accusing me of criminality. Chairperson, I am now a criminally accused person. I asked for legal representation. I was not granted. And when you wrote to me, Chairperson, you said you don't need legal representation because you're not an accused person in this process. You are in this process to assist us in an investigation against Advocate Mkhwebane. So we dealt with this issue 1 week ago. These matters were not raised. If Advocate Mpofu wanted to raise these issues, he shouldn't be ambushing me right now. He should have raised them last week, and I should have gone for legal representation. He was not prepared to proceed with my affidavit for short notice, but he thinks it's okay to ambush me with issues of legality right now without having even just been sent a written notice of it. Forget about 7 days notice. So
yes. You remember me last week saying that we will have to raise issues for this committee regarding these statements which may be referred to the police?
Well, I don't remember you saying that, but if you did say so, I'm still saying it's a point in limine that should have been discussed last week.
But nothing was, sorry ma'am, sorry.
You're speaking over me.
I'm sorry. Nothing was discussed last week.
But you're speaking over me.
Just allow her to continue to conclude, Advocate Mpofu. Please go ahead, Advocate Madonsela.
Right. This meeting today was convened by agreement. On the record, the chairperson, on the record, you said the statement that was going to be discussed is the statement of the 28th, or the corrected version of the 28th. And this was after Advocate Abraham had said that that's the statement that I'm prepared to go with. If Advocate Mpofu wanted to put me on trial for how the changes happened between the statements happened, he should have indicated last week, Monday, that he wants me criminally charged for that, in which case it changes the complexity of this event today.
No, ma'am.
I should have then had a lawyer to come and represent me because I'm now being accused of criminality.
No.
He insisted last week that he needs me as a witness on those matters.
Okay.
When he was saying why he needed me, he didn't say he needs me to answer for this statement. I remember when you had ruled, Chairperson, that this is the end of the matter.
Thank you, Advocate Madonsela.
Yeah.
I think you have canvassed and ventilated the issues quite firmly. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Advocate Mpofu, I just want to go to a break. So if there's something you want to raise quickly before that.
Just to round off this statement. Okay, ma'am, I'm not accused you of criminality yet. I'm simply saying that at least I thought we were together. You agreed that to change a statement that has been attested to after the Commissioner of Oaths is illegal. We agreed on that, and you are right. Now, I'm simply demonstrating that you did exactly that which you and I have agreed is illegal. That's all really. And maybe just because there's going to be a break, let me short circuit this. At paragraph 5, paragraph 6, paragraph 7.3, Tsepo, maybe you can just run those so that for the witness to see. Paragraph 8.3 twice, and paragraph 9.6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places you did that which you have admitted is illegal by changing the statement by hand and putting your signature next to it at that point. That's the only point I want to make. Then we'll move to the third statement. Are you following?
May I just respond to that, Advocate Mpofu? Again, I've canvassed the issue of what you're doing, even by your standards, may be quite low. If you intended to accuse me of illegality or criminality, you had the time last week to say today will not be about the contents, it will not be about merits, it will be about accusing me of criminality or illegality. You didn't do that. And I disagree with you that I deny that I did anything illegal.
Okay.
All I admit to is I indicated where the changes in the electronic statements are. Last week, just my last word on this, last week when you had an opportunity to indicate why you want me today. On this matter, the only thing that you raised as an issue about this statement was the fact that the stamp of the Commissioner of Oaths of the statement of the 28th was in Joburg, whereas we claimed that this happened in Stellenbosch.
Okay, ma'am.
The evidence leader read the law to indicate that it's okay to have a business stamp for a different place, but if it can be confirmed that the statement has been done where it claims to have been done. So that was all that he raised. This incremental approach is quite shocking.
Okay, ma'am. All right. I'm sorry to shock you, but all I'm saying is we have to establish whether there is indeed an affidavit before this court. If all you were doing was to indicate, for example, not
the court.
The committee.
Yes.
Well, if you were to indicate, if you merely wanted to indicate that the first should be the 21st, then why did you put your initials next to that? Because
I wanted the committee to see where the changes were.
For the committee?
Yes, the statement was being sent to the evidence leaders, and it was literally around 10 a.m. when the event was starting. And it was important for whoever, I'm sending the electronic statement. You remember you raised the hullabaloo at that stage about the fact that you've been sent a 9-page statement. It turned out that it was 8 pages and one of the pages was repeated. So the statements were sent simultaneously to make sure that you could see from the handwritten version that this is where the changes are in the signed statement. It was sent as one email. It wasn't sent as 2 separate emails.
That's fine. Okay, well, I'm going to demonstrate, not now. The reason I'm asking you these questions, ma'am, is that you are here. So it's important for you to answer for yourself. Otherwise, if I raise them in argument when you are not here, that would be unfair. Let's just round off that issue by saying that I will demonstrate that what you've just said is completely untruthful. If you are merely indicating the changes, then you wouldn't have signed against them. And some of them, even the Commissioner of Oaths has signed against those changes, which, by the way, is the correct thing to do. But it's only you who has signed them, that is completely illegal. I think let's leave it there. Either you know that or you don't. That's I can't help it. But we'll then move to the next.
Can I respond to that? I deny what you're saying, And I think it's really low.
Thank you, Advocate Madonsela. Honorable Sukas, we are almost to a break, but let me hear you out.
Yes, Chair. I would like for Advocate Mpofu to please tell the committee what is the relevance of this line of questioning. Advocate Thuli Madonsela came here to answer or to speak to evidence relating to two cases. We've now spent almost half a day on this. Not half a day, but certainly a significant amount of hours. What is the relevance to that? Secondly, Advocate Madonsela is not here for oversight. She is not. And none of what has now been discussed or been questioned has to do with the aim of this inquiry.
Thank you, Honorable Sukas. Honorable Malema.
Advocate Mpofu is well within his right and is correct to ask the questions that he is asking, because we can't have defective papers before us, or to a particular extent even be told lies, and then we say it is not what Advocate Madonsela is here for. Advocate Madonsela's credibility and whatever he has put in the affidavit or the letter, because we are still not even sure if these are still going to be referred to as affidavits, have to be questioned so that at the point of deliberations, we don't get shocked. And that Advocate Mpofu has made that point, that I'm raising these points because during deliberations, I don't want to be told that I was unfair to you. We should all be worried that a committee like ours, even when people are not here as accused, they can come and lie here. Then it's a waste of time. No one must come and lie here. And if there is anything that suggests there is a lie, it must be exposed. If it's a correction, why does it have signatures of two people? Why do you need a signature of Commissioner of Oath to show that, no, I was just making a correction of a typo? Because that is not the document you are going to use. The document you are going to use is the one that I've given you with those typos. This one I'm just correcting for ease of reference. But you use the Commissioner of Oath to even attach a signature. To me, it's clear you are making amendments to the original document, and as they say, it's illegal. But that point will come, and it can only come if it has been exposed through this line of questioning.
Thank you. I will recognize you, Advocate Madonsela. Thank you, Honorable Malema, because I'm going to try and make a summary and make a ruling on this issue. Advocate Mpofu?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Chair, in fairness to the witness, I think the point has been made now repeatedly that she needs to be given an opportunity to respond to this. But the principal point I was making, Chair, is why we offered to assist her, so that these illegalities would not have occurred, because we know that she's not a practicing lawyer. And the only point I want to make before we take the break, Advocate Madonsela, is this. Even on your version that these were just corrections, that is completely false, because on three occasions, both you and the Commissioner of Oaths have signed on these so-called changes after the commissioning, which would amount to an illegality on both your parts. And then on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occasions, you only signed on your own. Just that inconsistency. Either you were going to sign on your own or sign with the Commissioner of Oaths. But
may I assist?
Both of those things cannot be correct. The correct one, as you should know, is the one where you both signed. So where you've just signed on your own is incorrect, is illegal on your part. Where the Commissioner of Oaths has signed on his part after you have already commissioned, then that's illegality on his part or her part. That's really the gist of this. And it's not a small matter. This is Parliament. It is the Parliament that passed the law that defines what an affidavit is. So if this parliament was just playing games when it passed that law, then they will tell us. But I'm sure they were passing that law for a reason, so that people don't come and misrepresent the truth. And so that is the importance of this exercise. And finally, sorry, Chair, finally, the issue is really as to whether there is or there isn't an affidavit before this committee. But we can round that off. I hope you understand those. Do you?
I disagree. Can I explain and assist you this time? Assist
no, I don't need your assistance.
I'm not being paid to assist you.
No, I don't need your assistance, no, your snide remarks, ma'am. Please, you're just here to ask questions, not to be sarcastic.
Okay.
I do want to
won't stop you. Okay, I know the chair is not stopping you from all that. You've been insulting me and being sarcastic.
Speak over me.
No, just pause, Advocate Madonsela. Can you complete, Advocate?
Yes, you must tool man. Hey, Chair.
Okay, no, Miss Advocate Madonsela, I'm saying to you, and I'm saying it as kindly as I can master, despite all your insults to me this morning, I'm saying that now you're speaking over me. All right, let me start again. That's fine, apology accepted. I'm saying, ma'am, that I'm making 3 points here, and either you understand them or you don't. One is that your version that these were merely indicative changes is belied by the fact that you signed against it. Secondly, the fact that on some parts only you signed for it, which is wrong, and then other parts you and the Commissioner of Oaths signed against it, shows illegality on both your parts. And thirdly, I'm saying it's important for this committee to know, because our directives say so, that witnesses should make an affidavit. Witnesses are free not to make an affidavit, but once they purport to make an affidavit, it has to be an affidavit. Do you understand that or not? Well, I'm not saying you agree with it, but do you understand that?
I don't understand your logic, sir.
Okay, well, that's fine. Then maybe you can go and let's take a tea break. Maybe.
No, I'm the chair. Sorry. Thank you, Advocate Mpofu.
I mean, Chair. No, sorry, sir. I'm not taking over your meeting. I'm
Thank you.
saying.
Thank you. Thank you, Advocate Mpofu.
Yes.
Over to you, Advocate Madonsela.
Thank you, sir. What I wanted to assist Advocate Mpofu with are 2 points. There's one document on the table in 3 articulations. It's a 4-page affidavit. It was signed before an attorney who is the director of the law firm where he is on the 25th. On each page of that affidavit, both he and I initialed it, and it was sent to the committee. So now Advocate Mpofu has not only insulted me and criminalized me, he has now criminalized a fellow member of the bar by simply failing to read documents that he's paid to read. That affidavit of the 25th is in the document pack, I hope. And in any event, it was sent to the attorneys that are instructing Advocate Mpofu. The signature of the attorney who assisted me is at the end on page 4, and he's initialized all of the pages. So to fabricate lies here and suggest that those signatures only appeared during the corrections is shocking, to say the least. And again, this could have been corrected if we had had a pre-trial kind of hearing to clarify these things instead of trying here to play games. I've indicated that there are 3 articulations of one document.
Okay, Chair.
I have not proffered
Pardon
to
me.
this committee the version that Advocate Mpofu is latching on to as
Okay.
the document on the record. The
Thank you.
document that I've offered to the committee was the version that is electronic, where the changes are made, and therefore a new commissioner of oath signed that document, precisely because we realize that if you make changes on the previous document, it would be a problem, legally speaking. Hence, a new commissioner of oath signed the document that I came to this committee today, understanding with the basis of our discussion. But 2 hours later, we are discussing things that should be discussed at a pre-trial conference. And certainly between learned friends, being the evidence leaders and the lawyers before we come to these events.
Thank you, Advocate Madonsela. I want to make a ruling before we go for tea.
No, Chair, I'll retract. You could proceed.
Okay.
Chair, please bear with me. I know you want to go to lunch.
I want to make a ruling, actually.
To make a break, but can I just make a response just by one point? Advocate Madonsela, yes, ma'am. Okay. What you have just said is completely untrue, and I'll demonstrate it to you, ma'am. You said that where the public protector, sorry.
It can't be untrue.
Oh, there you go. All right. You said that, you've just said now in your last answer that in the versions that you rendered to the committee, all the pages were signed by you and the Commissioner of Oaths, correct?
May I answer, sir? In the first
That's why
version of this affidavit, the first version of this affidavit, being the one sent on the 25th, was signed by the Commissioner of Oaths. He never ever signed anything else after that.
No, that's not true. Let's go to that.
Sorry,
I just wanted to start with something else when I come back.
No, thank you.
Okay, let me just summarize then.
I want you to pause there now.
Can I summarize? The witness can either confirm or not. Okay. This is the truth, madam. On the first version, you are right. On page 1, you and the commissioner signed. On page 2, at 7.4, you and the commissioner signed. Page 3, 8.3, you and the commissioner signed.
Yes.
But on page 4 of 5, 9.6, the commissioner did not sign. In other words, you are the only person who signed that. That's where it talks about Gogo Dlamini and all that. Do you admit that, or do you want to dispute it so that we can put it up after the break?
I dispute it. The document only has 4 pages.
Good.
There's no document with 5 pages.
Okay, that's fine. So at 9.6, your version is that both you and the commissioner signed.
The commissioner was just signing each page, the Commissioner of Oaths. He wasn't signing changes, except the one where he had made a mistake on the date.
No, that's also not true. He signed 4 times, but I'm saying
He signed 4 times, of course, because he initialized each page.
Yes. Okay, ma'am. Look, okay, let me just tell you, yeah, you've just made it worse. I think that the sum total, which I will argue at the end, is that none of your versions hold water or consistently appear through the statement. and none of these statements therefore qualify to be called an affidavit. And to the extent that either you or the Commissioner of Oaths breached the Act, then those matters. Are you a member of the Legal Practice Council?
Advocate Mpofu,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to stop you now.
that's irrelevant.
I thought you were saying you're
honestly
summarizing.
think, firstly, number one,
Advocate
you are
Madonsela, Advocate Madonsela,
No, wait, wait.
Advocate Madonsela, please pause. I want you to pause as well. We're now going to take a tea for 15 minutes, back after 15 minutes, and I will make a ruling. Thank you, so that we proceed.
But Chair, I'm still talking.